Hey guys, it's Vader. This is part 3 of my scanning tutorial. In the last part, I was going over the program that I use for editing skins, and that is GIMP. So I made it up to here, so now we're going to the crop tool. Remove edge areas from image or layer. Pretty self-explanatory. You can do that. Just crop the image. So if you want to just get that, well, then you can. Ta-da. But we don't want to do that. Rotate tool. You'll probably maybe use it, not sure. But if you want to rotate something, let's see here, copy, edit, and paste. So if we want to rotate it, we select the highlighted thing, and then you can either just move it around with your mouse, or you can actually specify the angle. So let's say we want it to go at a 90-degree angle. Rotate. And then you can specify where the center of wherever the thing is, but I don't go into that technical stuff. Just want to spin something, and then you can spin it. So that's pretty simple. Here we have the scale tool, scale the layer, selection or path. So we just select that, and we can either put in the actual numbers of pixels or whatever. I keep it at pixels if I am doing this. Or you can just go by whatever you see. So we can make it huge, and then click scale, and ta-da, we got a big string. Or we can make it really tiny. Or make it really long and really blurry. So there's that. Shear tool. Oh yes. So this will, we can just kind of do that. Not really anything that I use, but you can see you can make curves, bendy curves. And then perspective tool, change perspective of the layer selection or path. So this one, we can make it go crazy. As you can see, this is what it was originally, and then we can make it so that it looks like it's flat. And there we go. Now it looks like it's flat. Again, something you're not really going to use. This one and this one you won't really use. Rotate and scaling are probably the more that you'll use more. Flip tool, probably you're going to use it, especially for writing down stuff we'll get to later. So just click it and it'll flip. Easy. Cage transform, deformer selection with a cage. Now this, I'm not 100% sure about. Press enter to commit the transform. Hmm. Well, gonna be honest, I'm kind of confused. What is the purpose of this? I do not know. Well, it did say deform a selection with the cage. How the heck do you deform? Okay, sure. Totally. Huh. Well, I have no idea what that does. Like, there were other ones that I didn't know what to do, but I really have no idea. Huh, well, anyway. Considering I don't use it, you're probably not gonna use it either. Let's be honest here. Um, Text tool, well, that's simple. What I was saying earlier about having to use the flip tool. On some skins, depending on, I guess it's depending on the model. I don't think it depends on the texture. Um, they wrap around differently, and so if you write something, hello, and then this hello might actually appear backwards. It might not actually appear as hello on Kyle's right shoulder or collarbone. Sorry about that. As I was saying before I got interrupted, um, it might not appear on his right collarbone as it is right now. Like, it'll be on his right collarbone, but it may end up looking like, whoops, it may end up looking like something like this. Not like this, but like that. That's how it may end up looking. And we don't want that. So, so again, that's pretty easy. Nothing to really talk about there. Uh, the bucket fill tool. Fill selected area with a color or pattern. Well, we want white, let's say. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We want white. Hey, we made it white. There. Easy. Blend tool. Fill selected area with the color gradient. So we can do something like that. But I don't use it really. If you double click any of these options, you'll have like even more options. You can add this here if you want to the. It says you can drop dockable dialogues here instead of having a separate window. But yeah, and then you've got a whole bunch of different like variations of things, and then you can click here and then do, I don't know, whatever. Actually, did I even? Yeah, it selected it. Pretty sure, at least. Not something that I use. Yeah, there you go. It's just whatever, but I don't use that. Uh, Pencil tool, hard edge painting using a brush. Even though it clearly just says that it's not a brush, but a pencil, but sure. Then you can click here what you want your brush to be. You can make your brush this. Yep, just a whole bunch of pears, not pears, really, peppers. Whatever that is. Vine. You can make it a star. Just stars. Anyway. You can make the opacity different. You can see. Again, you've got all these different things that you can do. The size and all this, just fancy stuff. Uh, the brush is basically the same, except, a brush. Paint smooth strokes using a brush. So, eraser tool, well, that just erased everything. That'll erase your selected stuff. Uh, Airbrush, paint using an airbrush. So we can do this. Ta-da! Ink tool, color style painting. I guess it doesn't. Select. Oh, how about this? Let's cut that. Select all. And now we can. Ta-da! Just painting stuff. Anyway. Clone tool. Selectively copy from an image or pattern using a brush. Set a source image first. Ooh. Pattern. Ta-da! We're making wood. So yeah, there you go. That's one way of putting an image, I guess, into here. Healing tool. Heal image irregularities. This won't really work. Set a source image first. Oh. Alright, alright, alright. Oh. How does one set an image? Again, something I don't really use. Perspective, clone tool, clone from an image source after applying a perspective transformation. So, what? Copy, paste. Well, that didn't work. I guess you'd have to here, let's select that. Let's do that, transform, and maybe, what the heck is going on? Why is it doing it? Perspective clone, modify perspective, set a source image first. Again? Oh, really? That's, okay. Huh, well, okay. Now you know that that is a thing. Anyway, undo that. As you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff that you're not gonna end up using for skinning. Blur sharpen tool, selective blurring or unblurring using a brush. So I don't know if you can see, but we are making it blurry. Blurry Kyle. Yep. And then if you click on this, then you can blur or you can sharpen. And then you can increase the rate. So like, you can see the pixels getting brighter, really bright, like shiny and discolored. So this is the smudge tool. Yep, smudging this whole picture. Just making it all a mess. This right now, I am basically a 4-year-old child. Just yep. Anyway, uh, so there's that, and then there's this. The dodge and burn tool, selectively lighten or darker using a brush. So eventually, if you keep clicking and letting go, it'll turn white. And then if you double click on this option, then you can have, and then it'll tell you like if you press control, then you can, and it tells you here at the bottom. Click to dodge, try shifter for straight line, control the burn, and burn, well, what is going on there? I don't know. That does not return it to normal, as you can see. Let's do it on a. Turn it black. But yeah, those are pretty much the main tools that you have. We can close this. We don't need that. Now, let's see if it'll go to the. Hey, we can go to the base image. Cool. Will it go to the free select, I wonder? Where is the free select? Here we go. Let's go back to that. So, uh, you've got file, new, create, open as layers, all this, save the copy, revert, overwrite, export as. This is what you're going to want to use, not save as, because save as will just uh, save this image with a different name. Oh yeah, you wanna export because, well, I'll get to that later. Uh, there can be an issue with skins that may cause crashing. You may or may not have an experience with this. Um, and it has to do with the textures. Edit, you've got your undo history, cut, copy, copy visible, paste info, paste as, all this, fill with foreground color, background color, pattern, stroke selection, all preferences, all that. Select, you can select all, none, invert the selection, create a floating selection by color, selection editor, and there's just like so many things. And a lot of it I have not used, so I'm no pro with this program, let's just put it that way. I only use what I have to use. Stick with what you got and what you know. Show grid, but view, get rid of the grid. So that was view, image, duplicate image mode, RGB, grayscale, index, transform. You can flip it here. Canvas size, canvas to layers, print size, scale image, crop to selection. So there's quite a bit of stuff that are like in other in these other tabs or actual like tools. So uh, layer, we went over a little, not too much, but duplicate layer, new layer. You can raise the layer, lower the layer, put it to the top or the bottom, reverse the layer order. You can select previous or whatever. Uh, add layer mask, add a mask that allows non-destructive editing of transparency. Transparency, add alpha channel, add transparency information to the layer. Bunch of different selecting, more rotating, just all of this. Now this, colors, is something that I use quite a bit for making team skins because it's so simple. And it's obviously the way that I can, make it, since I'm just absolutely terrible at doing anything artistic. Like actually making this, no, it's not gonna happen. uh, but color balance here, we can do this. We can go shadows, and we can adjust the color levels. So go all the way to make it whatever that is. Midtones, highlights, there. So you can preview or not. Better to have a preview. You can make different presets. So if you're doing the same thing over and over with colors, then it's a good thing to have. But it'll automatically add a preset, if I remember correctly, after using a specific color. So there's that. Hue saturation, again, you can go into the different colors and adjust their thing. And then you can make whatever you want, really. There's just so many different combinations for colors, it's just... But this is the one that I use the most. Notice that by default it changes it to whatever color preview, as you can see. So depending on the color that you have, it'll be whatever color. And let's say we want these to be red. Well, we can go over here, and so depending on, well, that doesn't look very red. It is red, but it's more like a mahogany color. So we can either, well, that goes to black or grayish, or we can have a more red color. And then we can go brightness. We can go darker, so we can have a dark red. That's like a crimson red. Or we can go a really bright red, or completely white. But that no longer has a texture. So this has barely any texture. By the way, if a skin does not have a texture, it'll look like it'll look pretty bad. So you can't go too bright or too dark, because then we'll lose the actual like texture, like the braids in this string. So there's that. So that I use quite often. Well, let's put it back to how it was to red. And then, as you can see, I have all of these blue, gray, silver, green, but if you name them different things, that, like, this is supposed to be blue, but it's not actually blue. This is, I named it blue because it's like really blue. This is supposed to be gray. In this case it's gray, grayish silver. And green. So for different colors it'll be different, and you may have to adjust it. But let's say green. Well, if I click OK, it'll add it here to the list. But I think eventually it'll overwrite. So it's better to actually add it here, and then you'll just have it forever. Brightness contrast. Pretty self-explanatory. Or you can have something fancy like this, but again, I don't really mess with the brightness. Threshold for this image, the two colors using a threshold. This is kind of funky. Again, not something I use. Really, for the colors, all I use are these first three basically for changing the colors. But colorize is like my number one. It's just the easiest way to do it. And then invert the colors, so that's also kind of neat. Uh, Desaturate, so you can, as you can see, just made it all gray. Da, da, da. Equalize, white balance, color enhance. Made it red. Components, like for the most part, like these like other stuff. Just if you want to have a look at it, what it does, then just I guess it does say press F1 for help, but colorify. This will do the same thing. Oh no, that's different. And then you got a little preview here. But yeah, it's still not as good as colorize. Hot. Reduce luminance. Blacken. Okay. No idea. Undo add layer. Yeah. Maximum RGB. Next. Contrast. Tools. Again, all the tools that you have here in the toolbox. So it's all the same stuff. And like sometimes if the toolbox doesn't appear, then you just go to tools and click toolbox and it'll make it pop out. Filters. I don't think I mess with filters, but really it's a skin. You're not going to be adding filters to it really. Cartoon. Let's see. Well, what? Okay, let's do that again. Filters, or was that generic? No, artistic. Clothify. Oh. Sure. Actually, let's do something like this. Oh. No, we don't want opacity. And then if we do the filter, maybe just to clothify. Not really. No, it's too black. Well, then that didn't sound bad at all. Um, uh, but yeah, Yeah, filters, like, really, you're not gonna have to use it for something like this. Besides, like, blur, you can just do that with this right here. So, animation, waves, what? Create a multi-layer image with an effect like a stone was thrown into the current image. Interesting. Sure. Huh? Oh, play. Oh, interesting. Alright. Rewind. But yeah, you can make, basically with the layers, you could make a GIF image. Go away. There. Remove layer. Undo his. Oh. Oh. Yeah, we don't want this. Discard. Windows. Oh yeah, and you can go toolbox here as well. Single window mode when enabled. GIMP is in a single window mode. And help. And I don't even want to know what these are, like scripts. Okay. I'm not that advanced. Alright, so that pretty much covers the like the tools and stuff, but probably gonna have to need another video or two to kind of show off another thing and saving the thing. Oh, and actually more than that. Never mind. A few more parts. So I will see you guys in the next part.